Hey everybody, I got a little theme music going this time. How about that? And it kind of sucks. I'm still working on it. But welcome to the Vigilante Williamson show. As I get myself set up here, as you can hear the music, it's almost a pre-show, I guess. I'm still basically a boomer, learning on the way. So you get to see a little glitch. Let's get this stuff right. Alrighty, we're up. We can get rid of that. Alright, yep. Nice and professional fade down. How's everyone doing? I hope everyone's having a blessed evening. A little augment on the mask. I actually just did a video explaining the mask. I didn't post it yet. I just did it, recorded it. Work on the audio and the editing and everything later. So congratulations. I don't know if congratulations is the right word. That's the wrong word. How is everyone doing? Thank you. I'm grateful. That's probably the better word. Thank you for anyone who stumbles upon this stream. My name is Vigilante Williamson, and I'm going to be reading a little bit of positive news. As you know, the world is on fire, and it's easy to forget that people actually care about each other, actually love each other, and actually do cool things for each other. So I'm going to talk about some positive news, some of the silver linings of this COVID lockdown. Also talk about trees that may be able to save from flooding, which is pretty cool. Talk about an old man who raised money, or actually had people raise money for him, and vegan leather for those who care about things like that, who are really care about animals and want to wear leather. There's an innovation for you. So let's get into the news. 3 good things online support groups started during the lockdown. This is actually an article series that this website Positive News has, where they have 3 positive things based on the same subject. And we're going to read about these support groups during the lockdown. The coronavirus crisis has had a profound impact on the nation's mental health. And by the nation, I think this is based out of UK. But I mean, it's had an impact on the entire planet's mental health, quite frankly. It's actually sad. The amount of addiction that has risen, the amount of suicides, and the amount of depression. It's really a sad thing. And as someone who struggled with mental health, I can definitely commiserate and understand. So, back to the article. The coronavirus has had a profound effect on the world's mental health, according to Charity Mind. And these online groups were set up to provide emotional support. There's mental health support for men. A problem, and this is something that is useful anytime. I think a lot of men who have had mental issues have talked about how there's not as much mental support as they would like. And I think in general, there needs to be more mental health support. All right. Mental health support for men. A problem shared is a problem half, but men don't always find it easy to open up. So when lockdown was announced in the UK, personal development coach Ken Mamarella de Cruz, sorry if I butchered that name, Kenny, decided to set up his own lunchtime online support group just for men. And this is something, again, that this era needs a lot more. Not to discriminate, any other gender. It's just that men don't necessarily have the resources they need to deal with a lot of things. And in general, it's not always natural for men to open up, as said. So I'll try not to comment more on the article, but it's something that actually means a lot to me. So it's going to be a bit hard. He decided to set up his own lunchtime online support group just for men. I thought something's brewing here, and I need to make sure people don't go bonkers, that they don't harm themselves or harm other people, which unfortunately has happened, and that they have space to talk, he told Positive News. The sessions where attendees are asked to donate whatever they're able to afford, attended by men aged between 20 and 70 from all over the world. One of the members, Bernie, 27, joining the Men Check In group, had made him feel calmer and more stable, in turn helping him manage his anxiety. It's always felt like a luxury to be able to chat, hang out, laugh, and talk about real issues and feel connected in such a disconnected and chaotic time, he said. The groups are essential for me maintaining any of my sanity. Yeah, add a little bit more. I guess I'm talking about myself. I ain't actually looking into this group personally. During the sessions, the men discuss how they are feeling and share experiences. Marmelo de Cruz, again, Kenny, I apologize for messing up your name. He says men are really supportive to each other and generous in their sharings. So that's really a great thing needed. And this is also the next thing. And I have family actually in the healthcare field, and they're telling me that it is getting a little bit worse with the COVID as far as what they could see. Because early on, it really wasn't as bad as far as their hospital, but it's actually starting to get a little bit more packed. And so, therapy for healthcare workers. Healthcare professionals are working around the clock to treat COVID-19 patients during the pandemic. But who is looking after their mental and physical health? Alongside efforts to get personal, and as I get a text, alongside efforts to get the personal protective equipment they need, and a number of initiatives have sprung up to support the mental health of NHS staff. Again, this is based in the UK. Shout out to all the Britons. I know today is or the July 4th is Colonial Revolt Day. So, yeah. But we still love you guys. So, Duty to Care is one such group. It provides access to a directory of vetted well-being practitioners offering services to frontline healthcare workers. I was lying in bed one Saturday thinking my biggest fear is not just how my husband, a doctor, and all his colleagues and NHS workers survive. Harriet Hunt, a communications executive who set up the initiative, says, it was that this is going to be such a severe and drawn-out period of high pressure for them. So far, Duty to Care has been accessed by 600 NHS workers across the United Kingdom or the UK. So if you're out in the UK, you're a healthcare worker, definitely look into that. I know everyone's going to need support, but especially people on the front lines. That's a lot of stress. And support for new mothers. It is not an easy time to be pregnant or have recently given birth. Yeah, this might be the worst time in a long time. That's why one NHS trust, Norfolk and Norwich University Hospital Trust, NNUH, has launched a new partnership with MUTU, a medically recommended exercise program for new mothers who are unable to attend their normal face-to-face NHS consultations during the COVID-19 crisis. You guys have that? So wait. Sorry, I'm an American. So pregnant women and women who give birth have NHS consultation just like a natural thing that happens? Please, if you're watching this video and you're from the UK, put that in the comments. I don't know how the healthcare system works there. I don't know if you know that, but it's complete shit here. In any event, positive news. Face-to-face consultation during the COVID-19 crisis. The online sessions after exercises the online session offer exercises to help women with pelvic health issues, physical rehabilitation after birth. We are hearing stories of women who were suffering physically and mentally as a result of the body change and unable to get help, says Wendy Powell, founder of MUTU. They are now on their way to feeling confident and comfortable, and more at ease as a result of the digital support. NNUH has launched a pilot of the partnership with 92 mothers taking part of their 12-week program. Again, if you're in the UK, you're an expecting mother, or you know an expecting mother, this is a good program for them to look into because, like I said, everyone needs support. So any support group that exists is good to use. So, I'm looking at, let me adjust ghettoly the mic as it moves in front of me. I'm just looking and I'm like, I want to improve. So tell me how terrible I am in the comments so I can get better. I want you to tell me I'm the worst or whatever. Please let me know. I'm looking to make sure my stream didn't freeze because it almost looks like it's frozen. There we go. I'm starting to move again. Sorry, I was monitoring my stream and it didn't look like I was moving. Yeah. Just got to get good. Fail, iterate, fail. All right. Mangrove Trees. Next article. Mangrove Trees can save Americans tens of billions in flood damages. So a new alliance gets planning. New studies looking at the relationship between property damage from floods and hurricanes and the presence of mangrove trees suggest that the coastal species, which is loved by fish, crustaceans, and invertebrates, can actually save a country millions of dollars on property damage each year. If you ever live near water, you understand that flood insurance is about as unforgiving as business gets. An international team of researchers recently mapped out over almost a 500,000 miles of world coastal property and the flood risk associated therein. The researchers found that flooding racks up, Jesus Christ, $730 billion each year in property damage. But the presence of coastal mangroves, a salt-tolerant species of tree growing along the shores of 59 countries, corresponded with $65 billion fewer dollars needed for flood damage. Wow, that's incredible. There's still a lot of money getting paid out, but that's definitely beneficial. For flood damages due to their incredible ability to blunt storm surges, the rise in sea level, and mass of waves hitting the coast during hurricanes. Mangroves are climate heroes. Mangroves are land builders. Mangroves are givers, says Daniel Murdiaso? I think Murdiaso. That's what I'm going with. A scientist from the center. This is what happens when you try to read through a mesh mask. From the Center for International Forestry Research, who is not involved with the study. They provide a lot of things for people and other creatures, including fish, crabs, birds, and especially migratory birds. They provide food for them. They provide nutrients for the fish and habitat and breed and propagate. Now, how mangroves can help the U.S. It's Independence Day. We want to help the United States. In the United States, flooding and hurricane costs about $50 billion in direct damages every year along the coast of Florida and the state's border in the Gulf of Mexico. But counting indirect flood damages, costs can regularly be 2 to 3 times as much. That means $100 to $150 billion when you count in the indirect costs. Climate change, that's a controversial topic each way. Climate change is predicted to cause an increase in severity of storms along the Gulf Coast and the Caribbean, as well as the Pacific and Indian Oceans, with the increase in temperature pushing many storms that would have remained a Category 4 storm 30 years ago into a Category 5. Hurricane Dorian impacted 15 states with sustained winds of 185 miles per hour and passed from the Bahamas all the way to Newfoundland, which is in Australia, for those who don't know. I hope it is. I hope our geography is not terrible, because was it Australia or was it Jesus? And I have to Google. I have to break everything down and see where Newfoundland is just to make sure I didn't make a mistake. So I know that's terrible for a stream, but it bothers me. It's an island. Where the hell is it? It's in fucking Canada. Fuck me. I'm an idiot. It's live. Why did I think? See, this is what happens when you use the American education system. I don't know why I thought Newfoundland was Australia. So I'm an idiot. It's Canada. At least I corrected myself and caused my own idiocy. That's what happens when you go live and you just say shit. I feel like I work for CNN. Okay. Where was I? Or any other news channel, because they all suck. But CNN in particular pisses me off. I don't like Fox News either, honestly. Back to this. Positive news. With the increase in numbers of storms like Dorian, there's a drastic need to slow the effects of climate change, and mangroves soak up the CO2 like no other tree species while containing storm surges. If you've never seen the photos of mangrove forests, they grow close together, both above and below the water, and above and below the sediment. This almost sounds like a cult thing if you know exactly what the above and below means. To form a chaotic latticework of branches and trunks that trap sediment arriving from the sea. This provides an effective natural defense from tidal forces. When strong waves break upon the coastal mangrove forest, studies have shown that a 100-meter forest can dissipate 66% of total wave energy. We generated maps summarizing the benefits that mangroves provide in 20 kilometers coastal units across the world. Sorry, checking something real quick. Okay. Where was that? Coastal units across the... Sorry, I lost my place. Being a boomer, even though I'm technically a millennial. We generated maps summarizing the benefits that mangrove provides in 20 kilometer coastal units across the world, writes Michael Beck, professor at UC Santa Cruz and author of 2 papers. They show that there are 100 coastal areas where mangroves avert 100 million or more in property damages each year. Given our findings about how valuable mangroves are for coastal protection, we believe they should be viewed as national infrastructure and made eligible for funding from hazard mitigation and disaster recovery budgets, just like other coastal defense structures. Paying for mangrove restoration can work through the same approaches that are currently used to fund engineered protective structures such as seawalls. Mangrove conservation in the U.S. Mangrove conservation and restoration projects. This article is pretty long. Let's just get back to it. Mangrove conservation and restoration projects of various sorts are going all over the world and the nations and near the Indo-Pacific region. Mass community-based planning operations have been leveraged to try and stem the loss of an ecosystem that is vitally important during disasters. I'm sorry. The WWF. So, as a wrestling fan, I remember when the WWF was the World Wrestling Federation. They infamously lost a lawsuit to the World Wildlife Fund, who is the WWF being referred to in this article. So I had to point that out. Welcome everyone to Monday Night Raw. Okay, the WWF has been working to restore mangroves, which it calls the most important coastal ecosystem, for decades. Now it's teaming up with Conservation International, the International Union for the Conservation of Nature. The Nature Conservancy, a lot of conservation, a lot of conservativeness. The liberals will not like this past paragraph. The Nature Conservancy to the Global Mangrove Alliance. They plan to expand the global extent of mangrove habitat by 20% by the year 2030, which isn't as impossible as it sounds. New techniques for planting mangroves, which involve far less manual labor than other seedlings, mimic the forces of hydrology and are being implemented by conservation groups in Florida. Again, liberals will not like that. Elsewhere, Herculean efforts of those... I love my dad jokes, so if you don't, I apologize. Like those of Douglas DeSera, also known as the Mangrove Master, liberals definitely are not going to like that, who planted over 2 million mangrove saplings across his home in the country of Sri Lanka. I'm joking, liberals. It's a joke. These are jokes. Please. I'm neither liberal or conservative. I'm a citrus. And it's across his home country of Sri Lanka over 16 years, or the work of Haider Elal, who restored an entire Senegalese mangrove. That's pretty cool. An entire Senegalese mangrove forest ecosystem in the Casamance Delta, are proving that even a single person can do a lot to generate the most important of ecosystems. If you live in a U.S. state where with mangroves or are at risk during flooding, risk of flooding during hurricanes, consider calling your local representative and suggest they look into mangroves as a way of protecting your property and the property of your neighbors. That is something we should definitely do. Definitely look into mangroves. Definitely look into that. As I cover my cheeks to make myself a little less recognizable, hopefully. Let's keep going with articles. Got a couple more. Of course, the Newfoundland. I know where the fuck anything is. Okay, let's get back to this. This is a pretty cool article. And it also has a video, so I'll play that as well. This heartwarming story began unfolding on Father's Day when some good Samaritans got creative so they can help get an elderly man out of the heat. The 70-year-old was pushing around a cart in a Chicago neighborhood, which is fucking crazy. I love Chicago. I'm from Detroit, so I understand it, but that's scary. Hard work for anyone on a hot summer day, but now Thanks to sweet customers and the kindness that went viral, he may finally have the opportunity to enjoy retirement, which most Americans will not. Rosario Del Rio works harder than many folks half his age. Until this month, he had been working as a carpenter from home. Since an injury required him to take a break from his profession, he has pushed a refrigerator cart through the streets, selling paletas, Mexican-style ice cream pops, to neighbors. Don Rosario, as he is affectionately known, was born in, I apologize to all my Latin brothers and sisters, I cannot pronounce that word, but I'm going to try anyway, Zacatecas, Mexico, and wears his traditional vaquero suit, a cowboy hat, and pitted belt wherever he sells his frozen treats. It may have been a holiday for dads across the U.S., but before Don Rosario, it was another day of the office, pushing his paleta cart around the neighborhood. Oscar Gonzalez and Victor Dominguez were hosting a Father's Day barbecue for their families and invited the paleta salesman to join them. Everyone bonded very quickly, and before long, they decided to buy all the paletas in Don Rosario's cart so he can go home and rest. One of their friends recorded a video of the heartwarming sale and posted it on the social sharing app TikTok, so it's below. I'll show that video in a second. When the video went viral, the family harnessed the publicity and set up a fundraiser to help the immigrant retire. The initial goal was $10,000 for their new friend, but the generous strangers contributed more than $62,000 to the GoFundMe. Sorry about that. The generous strangers have contributed more than $62,000 to the GoFundMe campaign so far. Before even learning that his new friends had collected a huge sum for his retirement, Don Rosario said he was just moved to tears by their generosity that day, even though he is grateful to have the opportunity to work. I don't like sitting at home doing nothing without a purpose, he told the Chicago Tribune, but I don't have enough to ever be able to thank the family who have done this for me. It made me so happy. And this is a video of him being emotional. I'm going to go show the video of that, what happened, and then go back to that video and be emotional. Don Rosario first came to the U.S. in 1969 before finally becoming a citizen in 1979. He says when he first came to the country, his family was poor, so his only wish was for them to be able to eat one full meal every day. Wow. After picking produce in California for a number of years, he worked on ranches in Texas and Oregon. Finally, he was able to settle in Chicago and buy a home where he and his wife raised their 3 children on the southeast side. He finally finished paying off his house in 2015. God bless you for having your house paid off. Don Rosario says he plans to return to Zacatecas someday. When he gets there, the first item of his agenda is to visit the Shrine of Our Lady Guadalupe and thank God for how so many strangers have been a blessing to him in recent weeks. Even though he can certainly relax and enjoy his retirement now, he says he will keep working because it brings him so much satisfaction. So let's show this video real quick.
Marcus. Hey, good morning. Surfing the web this morning. A Chicago man's video has gone viral on TikTok. His family ran into a paleta man named Don Rosario on Father's Day. The family decided to buy all of the man's popsicles that he was selling out on the street so that he could go home. It was a really hot day. They wanted him to go home and enjoy Father's Day. Take a look at this.
God, that's great.
That's
yeah,
so
just
sweet.
a really awesome moment. Michelangelo Mosqueda posted the video on TikTok. It got more than 5 million views.
I don't want to get copyrighted by this good old WGN. And this is his reaction on this Twitter. You know, I'm old. I don't do the Insta scam and the fake book, so I don't know what the kids are doing.
¿Qué le pareció el domingo? Fue una sorpresa cuando le compraron todas las
Do
paletas.
I know Spanish? Oh, but you can still see the emotion. Okay, I'm not going to show a man cry, but that's still a very sweet story. I don't like seeing a man cry. But that's a very
Muy
sweet
contento
story.
se sintió.
Yes.
Demasiado.
pause the video. But as you can see, he's very grateful, very humbled, and it's a very sweet story. So shout out to him. Shout out to you, Don Rosario. Shout out to everyone who helped buy his paletas, and you know, he still wants to do it. He still wants to work. He just likes bringing joy. So that's really cool. Really cool. So, more love for my Latin brothers, and this is going to be the last story of the night. 2 Mexican entrepreneurs just created vegan leather out of cactus leaves. Now, this is going to probably be huge because I never even thought of something like this, and I could just imagine how much vegan leather how popular something like vegan leather would be. So these two brothers have just become millionaires because this is going to take off. I can see it taking off, unless they get sandbagged by some other big corporation, which I hope doesn't happen. So knock on wood. All right. With today's effort on reducing waste and relying on sustainable fashion, 2 young entrepreneurs from Mexico have created an alternative to leather, the first of its kind, with none other than nopal prickly pear. Andre Lopez Velarde and Marte Canzares recently launched Deserto, an organic alternative to leather made entirely out of the cactus plant, synonymous to the native country. And yes, this vegan leather is just as aesthetically pleasing as the real leather you see on the handbags made by some of the most prestigious designers. According to their website, their mission is to be at the forefront of innovation, going beyond the needs of the leather goods market, offering high quality materials made with sustainable alternatives. Like many brands, the creative duo rely on high quality, and their goods are made in Italy. However, they're keen on environmental awareness. In an interview with Fashion United, the founders explained how the light bulb idea came about. The idea of using raw material was conceived because this plant does not need any water to grow, and there's plenty of it throughout the Mexican Republic. Also, symbolically, it represents us Mexicans, and everyone knows it. For those who have yet to feel this innovative material, Adrian and Marte have expanded on what cactus leather really is like. There's no intense use of water and it's free of phthalates, toxic chemicals, and PVCs, they explain. Also, the flexibility may result in production savings because it boosts the productivity of the production lines using it. It's also a material offering touch and softness and is very similar to animal leather. Aside from fashion, the 2 entrepreneurs are hoping their new creation can replace leather goods used in furniture and automotive industry. Wow. So that's a really cool thing. So basically, these 2 brothers, shout out to Mexico, they've created vegan leather. And like I said, as long as they don't get sandbagged, there should be nothing stopping them from being millionaires. That's just an obvious idea. So I think it's going to take off. I think it's an evergreen thing. And as it's most importantly, look how sustainable it is. It doesn't need water because it's a fucking cactus. Sorry to curse. There's no intense use of water, and it's free of toxic chemicals. I do not know what this is. And you know what? Since I've already Googled to see where Newfoundland was, made a fool of myself. Let's do a little live research on whatever the hell that word is that I cannot pronounce. Whew. The group of chemicals used to make plastics more flexible. So plasticizers. So a plastic additive. So that is not in this leather. This is just cactus or the nopal. So wow. That's really cool. Okay. So I think that'll end the live stream. I appreciate anyone who have another viewer. So somebody snuck in. It could be my brother. It could be anybody. But shout out to whoever you are who snuck into this live stream. My bad. I just want to thank you. So tell me how much I suck so I can get better. If you like the video, please like the video. And even if you didn't, thank you for watching. Have a blessed evening. Goodbye, everybody.